Hey there, theory students. This is the first video, and we're going to be talking about key signatures. Now, before we get into this, if you are one who's unfamiliar with your notes on the staff, here is a great tool for you to go and practice those and get more familiar with them. This is a website called musictheory.net, and you can go to /exercises. And these first 5 things right here are going to be almost exactly what we're talking about. So starting with note identification, if you click here, it's going to take you to a place where you can work on just guessing the notes. So I know that this is an A flat, so I'm going to go guess it, and I get it correct, and it goes higher to a B. And this seems to be only on ledger line. So if you go to settings, you can change all kinds of things. You can work with just spaces. All right, so if you work with only spaces in the treble clef, and I take away accidentals, that means there's going to be no sharps or flats. This is going to be pretty simple. So spaces, remember, go F-A-C-E, so that here's an E, there's an F, there's a G, and so on and so forth. And you can add all kinds of things back in. You can do the grand staff. You can also do just bass clef. I'm going to add back in everything and add accidentals. So if you can do this and get most of them correct, oops, accidentals, there it is. If you can do this and get most of them correct, then you'll be in great shape. So that's a great way to learn that. Also, something we're going to talk about today is key signatures. So you can go here to key signature identification, and we're going to be working with majors and minors. I know that this is F minor, so I'm going to go guess that. This is, got to think about it, G sharp minor, and so on and so forth. Of course, change to from majors to minors, key signatures, just that many sharps, you know, all that kind of stuff. Note name scales, blah, blah, blah. So that's a great website to go for you guys to practice, musictheory.net. So as we continue talking about key signatures, the reason that key signatures are important is because they tell you what notes to play on any given instrument and where do is. Now, we need these different notes because of the range of instruments, maybe the range of you as a singer. If a song, for example, like I sing at church, songs are often too high because most of the people who sing those songs on the radio are tenors, and so I actually take them down into the baritone range, and that's more singable for most people in a congregation as well. And also, different keys seems to have different timbres. For example, a key with a bunch of sharps in it, such as the key of B. The key of B has 5 sharps. It tends to have a brighter sound, so it sounds like this. And a key with, say, 4 flats in it, like the key of A flat, might sound like this. It seems a bit more richer. And so there are just different timbres, different ways that keys sound that some composers might desire one over the other. So this is also important because it's we need to know, as we learn how to play songs, we need to know what notes to play on a piano or on a guitar. I'm primarily going to be working from the piano as I describe these things. But I might throw in some guitar-based stuff as well, because I know some of you might know that as well. So you need to know what notes you're going to play on any given song. So if you look down here at the bottom of the screen, I have my keyboard pulled up here. There we go, maybe, yeah. So if I'm in the key of C, I'm going to play from C to another C without any of these black notes. These are sharps, flats, accidentals. If I start on a different note, like if I start on a D, I have to know that I have to play F sharp and C sharp. So there's a different one. And there's a C sharp on the black. If I just play all the white notes, it's going to sound a little odd. So that's actually a minor key, which we're going to get here, or similar to a minor key we'll get here in a second. But you need to know what notes you are going to play. So let's go ahead and jump in. So with our key signatures, there is an order that they go in. So I have several different key signatures right up in here, and I'm labeling them for you quickly as I go. And the order is always going to be the same. So first of all, with nothing in it, Nothing is the key of C. That's just one that you have to know. So there's the key of C. I'm labeling middle C. Both that C and this C are middle C, same one. And then in the next one we have an F sharp, and then we have an F and a C sharp, and then we have an F and a C and a G. Then we have an F and a C and a G and a D. So all of these sharps are always in the same order, and the order of sharps actually has a saying to it. The saying is fat cats go down alleys eating bacon. Okay, so some people say birds, but some people like me, who like you to remember things because they're weird, say bacon. So fat cats go down alleys eating bacon. If I would go in here and add the key with the most sharps, I'm just going to change this one to all the sharps. There we go. This is now the key of C sharp. And here's why. I'm going to take my notes and just delete them real quick. So we start with an F sharp. You got to look all the way back at the beginning. So we have fat, and then we have a C sharp, and then we have a G sharp. Go. Fat cats go down alleys eating bacon. Okay, so that is the order of sharps. I'm going to go back to the key of, oh, hang on, I don't want to change all of it. Back to the key of C with no sharps or flats. Now the order of flats is actually very similar, but it's just in the reverse order. So if you think about bacon eating alleys, cat, or whatever that is, it's the same thing. So here I have a B. The order goes BEAD, so B-E-A-D, and then GCF, greatest common factor. That is often a way to think about it. And you can also just think about fat cats go down alleys eating bacon backwards. So we have a B flat, and then we have an E flat, and A flat, and D flat, and G flat, and then we would finish it off with a C flat and an F flat if we had all of them. Okay, so that is the order, and that is important because if I need to play, look down here at my keyboard, if I need to play in the key of E, I'm going to know that that is a key with sharps in it. And because the last sharp is always T, that means when I find Do, like if this is Do, I need to find T, and that will be my last sharp. So my last sharp is a D sharp. So the key of E has 4 sharps because fat cats go down, and that's my last one, D. So I have 4 sharps. So there's an F, G sharp, C sharp, D sharp, and then I'm back to the E. All right, that will hopefully be cleared up a little more as we continue here. So back up in the staff, here's how we find major key signatures. We are going to talk about minor key signatures here in a moment as well. So major key signatures, and this should hopefully be familiar to you. We're going to find the last sharp. I'll work up here in treble clef first. The last sharp is sitting up here, and that is an F. So if the last sharp is an F, our last sharp is T, and we need to find Do. So T is 1 away from Do, so we just move our note up 1, and that note is a G, and so this is the key of G. Same thing done here in bass clef. This is an F. Okay, we have Grandma Bakes Donuts 4 on the lines, and then we go up to Do, which is the key of G. Jumping over here to the key of whatever this is, we have a D sharp right here. I'm over in the bass clef. D sharp goes up 1 because that's T, and there's Do, which is an E. Over here back in treble clef, we have a G sharp ending on this one, and we go up 1 to the key of A. So sharps, you always want to find the last sharp, which is T, and you move up 1 to Do. And that's for majors. Moving on to flats, there are 2 ways. First of all, the last flat is Fa, and then we're going to work our way down to Do. So here's Fa, Mi, Re, and Do. So this is the key of F, because spaces in the treble clef spell out face. Working over in this key signature, we have the key of, we have an A flat at the end, and that's Fa. We can work our way down. Fa, Mi, Re, Do. Now here's a crucial part. Because this is an E, and in our key signature, way up here, we also have an E flat. we have to know that this is the key of E flat. It's not the key of E. The key of E is actually right here with 4 sharps. The key of E flat is something entirely different. Okay, so if I'd come to my piano, if I want to play in the key of E, I'm starting on this note and playing these notes. The key of E flat is entirely different. I'm starting here and I am playing these notes. Okay, so that is very, very different, and you need to know the difference. When you're working with flats, most of the time your keys are going to be a letter followed by the flat. Okay, one more over here, we have a G flat at the very end. Work our way down, fa, mi, re, do. We could also work our way up, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and that's a D, and there is a flat on the D. That's right over there, and so this is the key of D flat. Now another way to work flats is once you get to where you have more than 2, you can just think about the second to last flat as do. So in this key signature, we have 1 flat that is on the E flat, and that's the last flat, reading from left to right, as we do in America. The second to last flat, in this case, is actually the first flat, and that's B flat. And that actually is our key right here. This is the key of B flat. Over here, here is my last flat, which is an A flat, and here's my second to last flat, and that is an E flat. Okay, so this is the key of E flat. And my last one, I'll go ahead and work in bass clef. Here's my last flat, which is G flat, but my second to last flat is right here, and that is the key of D flat. Okay, so to review, for major keys, we have the key, we have the last sharp, and that is T. We go up 1 to find do. Okay, for flats, we have 2 ways. Either find the second to last flat and work your way down to do, or you just find the second to last flat. So again, last flat, work your way down to do, or just find the second to last flat. It will always be that note. Okay, we're going to work on minors next, but I'm going to pause this video so I don't get over 15 minutes long, and we're going to go to minors in the next video.